Welcome to the Schooly EdTech portal. In this video, we'll walk through how to use the different user interface, the admin privilege, the student privilege, and the teacher's privilege. So logging in into the account as an admin, use the admin username and password that was sent to you, then log in into the dashboard. Once you log in into the dashboard, you're going to see the welcome screen, the dashboard home screen, which is what we are looking at here. In the dashboard home screen, you're going to see a brief statistics of what your school looks like. Like you can see your user name here. You say the number of students that have been registered in the school, the total number of users, the number of classes that have been registered. Then you see the report and the statistics corner, where you can see the number of graduated students, the payment count, the total number of teachers, number of staff, and then the boarding student, the day student, and other information here. Then going to the left side of the portal homepage is the menu. You see the menu list here. As I hover around them, they are collapsible. You can expand it or you can collapse it. When I go to the dashboard, I can see under the dashboard we have the following menus: the dashboard home, the main setting, the add and edit school, and the rest. Under the student management menu, you can see information about signing up a new student, onboarding a student, all the students in the school, all borders, and all that. Then that is how it goes to all the menus listed at the left side. Now, as an admin, it simply means that you have a super user privilege to access every features of the application. You can edit, you can add, and you can modify. You can also delete. So as a super user, you have to be careful how you use the dashboard, because any information you delete, you may not be able to recover them again. The admin privilege can be given to other sub-admin users also that do not have as much privilege as the super user. You can actually create other admin user. For instance, an accountant can have privileges to the account features. A teacher can have privileges to the attendance, and then the part of the student management aspect of the application. So as a super user now, I am going to walk into the elevated admin window, which I can access through the main settings here, the main settings menu here. So I'm going to right click so that I can open it in a new window, or you can directly click on it and it opens in a new window. This is not in a new tab anyway. This is just another window. This is the elevated admin environment. In this environment, an admin can do a whole lot. Like you can see under attendance here, I have add, change, and all that. So the super admin has the privilege to explore all the aspects of this area. A student cannot log in into this, neither can a teacher log into this, except those that have been given the privilege to access particular features in this environment. So you'll see all the modules that makes up the application right here: the attendance, the authentication, and the authorization module. You see the curriculum module, the payments, the portal, the results, the staff, and the students. You can see the transport, that is the school bus, then the user profile. Let's quickly go to the usation and the authorization module. In the authentication and authorization module, this is where you register new user. You can change user password. In case anyone forget their password and they do not know how to set it up from their portal, you can come here as a super user to help them to change the password. There are groups also that you can create. Like I said earlier, you can create group as for accounts or account staffs. You can create groups for teachers. You can create group for other administrative staff. So creating groups simply means that they will have privilege to certain aspects of the application. We shall be going into that in much later video. So let's go to the users. If I should click on the users, I'm going to see all the users that have been registered in this portal. In this portal, we have the admin, we have student one, we have teacher one, and you can see their name, and you can see their staff status also. You can see that the admin has a staff status while the student and teacher do not have a staff status. Having a staff status simply means that you can access this area or this part of the application. So it is usually the admin, the super admin, that have access to this environment. Let's explore one of the user, the admin user. If I click on the admin, you can see this is the username admin. I can change the admin as a super user here. I can change the name, the admin. If I want to change the admin name to another name, why not? I can change that. And then I can reset the password of this particular user. The same thing applies to every other user in the application. So if you go to this area, you will see password. You can see something like raw password and not store. The application is developed in a Python programming language that automatically encrypts your password. Your password cannot even be seen by anyone, not even the super user. The only thing the super user can do is to reset your password. And of course, if your password is reset without your consent, then you know that something is actually wrong somewhere. Somebody has gotten access to your application. So you can see the password of this admin is actually encrypted or is already encrypted automatically. So, but we can change the password. I'm going to use the form here. Using the form here, I click on it. You can see I can actually change the password. I can put in a new password, then save the changes. I'm not going to do that now, but you can do that if you want to change as the password access to any user. There's the personal information of that user. The user, the first name and the last name is captured there, and then you can see the email address. And under the permission, you can see that it's an active user. If you deactivate this user, if you remove active there, that means this user cannot log in into this portal anymore. So if there's any user that you don't want to have access to your portal again, you can just deactivate it. Just come here. Instead of deleting them, just come here. You can just click on this active, or you deactivate it, then the user will not have access to the portal anymore. But in the case of the super admin, you can see that he has access to, is active, is a staff, and is a super user. So you just save that. Like the student, let's explore the first student. You can see, like I said, you can change the password, you can change the first name. You can see this one only has the active. So if you don't want the student to access the portal anymore, you can just deactivate it, and the student cannot log in with whatever username or credential that the student has. But let us make this user active. The same thing goes to the teacher user also. So that is the aspect of managing the user password, changing the user name. Everyone that want to use the portal must have a username. The username for a school, for your school, your username should be your student ID. That is your student matric number or student identification number. So the username must not necessarily be student one, student two. The convention that you use in enrolling your student, that should be the name that you use for registering them. Then the same thing or concerning the staff to have a specialized identification method for assessing each of those users. I can add new users by just going up here. You'll see add users. So I can create student 2 now. Because I'm using the demo version, so I can call my student 1, student 2, student 3. So I'm going to put a password here. Make sure the same password is repeated correctly. Then I'm going to save this user. You can see that a user with that username already exists. So the application is so sensitive because I'm trying to register student 1 again, so which is not possible. Two persons cannot answer the same username on the portal. So that is the beauty of this portal. So I'm going to call this one student 2. Then I'm going to put the password now. So let's save that, and we have that student username created. Then we can put in the name for this student. Let's say it's Ben Iwoha or whoever. Then Ben. Let's put an email if the student has an email. So we can quickly save that. Now that we have created a second student, now we created this now. Then what it means is that this student automatically has a profile. You can see that we have student 2. If we go to down here, you see user, you see profile. You can see that we have profile automatically generated. The application also generates automatic user code. You may decide to use that if you don't have any natural convention for setting up your usernames and all that. You can see this code is automatically generated for each of the users. So you can decide to use this code as their username, any of them, but make sure as their identification. But we will want you to always use whatever thing you provide for them as a username for their access to log in into the application. So a profile is automatically generated for each of these users. That profile can be edited by the user later on when they log into their side of the portal. So if I access the student too, now you can see the information we give. By default, the application will give a profile picture. A profile picture, that's the avatar you see beside your name when you log in. But the user can, of course, change it. Remember, we are working from the admin end, and this is not the way an ordinary user will access the application. So that's just the way to register a new user on the application. Now you want to register a student. You go to the student module here. You can see we have the badge, we have the hostel, we have the student. Now we should explore all this module one after the other, right? Okay, attendance, that's just for taking attendance. Curriculum is talking about e-learning lessons, e-learning subjects and all that. But when you are setting up the portal for the first time, which we have already done for you, the first thing you need to do is to set up your school identity. The school identity, which is under curriculum model, school identity. The school identity is where you put in the correct name of your school. If it has been done there by mistake, by the one we put in there for you by default, then you can correct it by coming into this place. Under the school identity, put in the correct name of your school, the address, the phone number, the email address, and then upload your school logo. Why do we need this? Is that it will be the header for the student receipt, the student report, the student ID, and all that. So you need to set it up as you log in into the portal for the first time. Make sure you set it up. Then there are some basic setup that you need to also do, which is setting up the standards. The standard is the classes that you have from primary one. If it is a K-12 school, from nursery one, primary one, just it goes like that to SS3. So you set them up here by just adding. If I want to add a new one, I just click on SS, maybe SS1. Then the department, if you have created department, in this case we have not created department. So these are the basic things you need to set up first and foremost, so that you can pick the department. This is senior secondary school department, I guess. So but you can save it without even adding a department here. The section is just the section that the student below, like you have gold, silver, that is maybe SS1 gold, SS1 silver, and all that. So let's say the section in this case is bronze. Let's say it's bronze. Then you can assign teacher. Like here on this portal in the demo sample, we have only one teacher. You would have seen the list of the teachers that have been registered here. You can assign more than a teacher to class. Maybe they are taking, this one is taking them on maths, this one is taking them on another subject. Then the teachers can access the student information to some extent, but their form teacher, who is the original class teacher, is the one that has unlimited access to those student information. But other teachers can maybe help to mark their attendance and all that. So you are going to assign a teacher to this class now, or you can assign teachers to the class. In this case, we have only one teacher here, so we are still going to assign Mary to that class. Then we're going to save it. So we have saved that class. You can see this is this simple way to add a new class to your portal. Then we have sessions also. You need to add session. You need to set up your session. If that session is not already set up on your portal, then you need to set up the session. Like we are in the 2024-2025 section as at the time of recording this video, then you need to set up the section the first time, the second time, and the third time, so that you can pick it when you are making when the students are making payment, when the students are checking their result, they can know the result of the time of the session there. You can add a session that you can add previous sections also, maybe a section that you've already done on the past and you want to upload some information to your portal about the last session and all that. You can do that. So adding a new session, just go up there, you see add a section, call the session the name, let's say 2023, then 2024. Then you can, let's say it's first time or second time, just pick it there. first time, then you put the start date of the session, maybe starting today, it's ending today. You have to set your date correctly. You see, there's a way you get your date there. You can set the right date there. Then you go and then save. So you can see we have set up 2023-2024 first time session. That's where to set up the session. Then we have the standard section. Standard section, like I said, is the gold, the silver, and all that. So if I come here and I say the section, the gold section, or we call it class group. So you can say silver, so that you can always pick it whenever you are registering a particular class. We have set up the standard, we have set up the session, we have set up the standard section, then the school identity. These are basic information that you need to quickly set up when you log into the portal. Another information that you will need to set up information that regards your bank details, where the student should pay to. You should just enter your bank detail, the school bank detail. You can say account name, let's say it's a Schooly EdTech, Schooly EdTech. Then the account number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Then the bank name is let's say Zenith Bank. So you can just put it there. This will enable the student to see the account number on their portal where to pay to make any payment to. Then we have that's the bank detail under payment. We have the payment categories. Under the payment categories, what to do there is to add your payment category, like school fees or tuition fee, whatever name you call it. Tuition fee is a category. If you have a description for that, you can put it there. Just save it and then it is saved. If you have other categories of payment, maybe book, you can put it there just like that. So you put the categories of the payment that the school collects. Then we have the payment charts. The payment chart is the detailed payment, the how much you charge for a particular group of the. How to add the payment chart now. So I'm going to add a JSS1 tuition fee, for instance. Tuition fee. Then the payment category should be under tuition fee. Now you understand it. Then the section, for which section? We're going to say we are in third time now. So 2024 third time. Remember, we've already registered our section. Then the amount due. How much are they going to pay? They're going to pay 120,000. Make sure you type it correctly. So 120,000. If there are any description you want to add there, you can add. If you don't have any description, you can leave it there. So I'm going to save that. You can see, so we're already building our payment chart here now. So the tuition fee, the GSS1 tuition fee, then you can see the categories under tuition fee. The amount due is this. So the same way you register for maybe SS1, because in most cases you have different fee for each of these classes. So tuition fee, so we can go and add. It's under the category of tuition fee. The session is still the third time session. Then the amount for the SS3 is actually 185,000. So we can save that, and you can see, so we have this chart. When the student log in, they will see all these charts. They will see it from their portal end and see that this is how much they need to pay for this particular session. So they can pick the one they want to make payment for. Then under the payment detail, this payment detail you can add to it manually, but when the student are making payment, this place will be populated with the payment that the student are making. And then if they have made payment and you want to register it manually on your portal, you can just come here and add the payment. You see now, this is where to add the payment. The student are given the privilege to make 3 installments if possible. If they cannot make the first all at the first installment, so you can see first payment, we can see the second payment, you can see the third payment, but some students can pay all the fee at the same time. So you can see the payee. So the payee, you are going to put the student name. You can see in the payee we have all the users will be pulled out, because it is possible that a teacher is even making payment for a student on behalf of a student and all that, but the name of the student should be picked. It will get to a time that this place will be well populated, that you have hundreds of names there, so you can search for the student ID. So I want to search for student 2, for instance. Now I just do student 2, so it will filter it and bring out the particular student. I can say, okay, this student 1 rather, so you can see. So it's going to bring the ID of the student here. So you don't need to concern yourself with whatever thing it pull out, as long as you have chosen the correct student ID there. The same thing with the payment name. So you come to the payment name. Okay, it's tuition fee, JS1 tuition fee. So you come there. Then how much is the student paying? if all the student had already paid, this is when you are registering it into your portal. Then what do? You just go straight and say, okay, the student has just paid 20,000 out of it. How did the student pay? The bank account the student pay. You know, we register bank account just a moment ago. Then you can pick the bank. Then the date the payment was made. Let's say it was made in June or in May, March, wherever. So that's the first payment, and then it is saved. We can save it straight away, or if the payment has already been confirmed by the school, you can just confirm it straight and say payment A. Remember that we only entered one payment, payment A, and then it is saved. So you can confirm the payment straight away if the payment has been made and been confirmed. And if there are discount you give to some students, you can add the discount for this particular student. You can add the discount. The discount is added in percentage. Yeah. So if it is 10% discount you are giving, so you can just give 10% discount and then you save. So then we go to the adding of the students and the staff. It's just the same way we added our users. So we are going to go to student. Let's jump to student straight away. Under the student module, we have the badges. Badges simply means they are preferred positions. So let's register badges, maybe like a senior prefect, senior prefect. If a student is senior prefect, we should be able to see it in the student record. You can see not a prefect, just put not a prefect or nil. You can put nil for those that are not preferred so that you can just add that to them. That is under the student module. Then if you have hostels, you can register your hostels also. Let's say the hostel name is Golden Gate Hostel. Then the hostel master, it will pull out the name of all your teachers. So if there's any staff or teacher that is in charge of it, let's say still Mary, if there are description you want to put there, you can put it there. So we want to see the hostel master because we want to manage the hostel also. Then I'm going to save that, so we have registered hostel also. Then we go back to the students. You can see students now. We want to add student now. Adding a user and adding a student are not the same. You can start by adding a student and then automatically create a user for that student, or add the user first and then create the student. Anyhow, it is easier for you. By the time you master how to use the portal very well, you just go straight to the student and start adding it. You can create the user right from there. So we have a student already, which is student 1, who is in JS2. There's the standard, and then the date admitted, the guardian phone number. You can see it here. Then let us add a new student here. We register a user called student too, so we can actually make that student that user a student now. So you can see user. I have user is this student too now. I told you whatever name it bring out for you is an auto-generated ID, the serial ID the database keeps. So don't change it, just leave it like that. But we already know the student ID, which is student 2. You just have to type it correctly here, no space. Just type it correctly. And what's the first name of that student? Can you remember the first name? If you can't remember, you can just open this window, this user in a new tab, so we can see that the student too, the name is actually, the first name is Benny and the surname is Iwoha. So I can say the Benny middle name, if the any enter it now, then Iwo or her. So with that, we can pick the standard now. Standard, I said, is the class. So click on the standard. It's in JS2. Then the form teacher, who is the form teacher of this? So it will take us to you can see as I'm clicking, it's taking me to the right module. These are teachers. So I will see all the list of teachers here. Let's say it's Mary, that is the teacher. The gender of the student is a female. The date of birth, so enter the date of birth of that student. If there's any other medical information, you have the blood group, the genotype, the health status of that student. You can enter it there. The student type is a day student or it's a border student. So let's say it's a day student. The hostel, if it's a border student, then you can see the hostel that we register the other time. So you can pick the hostel of that student. But in this case, this student is a day student, so we don't need to give the student a hostel name. Then we have the date admitted. On what day did you admit this student? So this student was admitted on today, or you can pick your calendar and then pick the right date for that student. Then we have the class on admission. The current class is what we have just entered here. That's the standard of that student. But what was the class that that student came into that school? The student came in from primary one. So you just go there and say the student actually came in from JS2, is a fresh student. Then the guardian name, you put the guardian name. What's the surname of that student? Whatever the surname, the guardian name, you already have that information. So they just put that the guardian name is this, their address. You can push their address there. The phone number of the guardian is necessary, the email of the guardian, the relationship with the guardian, where if the parent is the father, is the mother, or the sister, the brother, the aunt, or wherever. So I say the parents, then the student status is active or inactive, graduated. So if the student has graduated, whenever a student graduates, just come there and just check this and change the student to graduated, so that we can know your student that are graduated and your student that are dropped, suspended, expelled, and whatever case it may be. And then here you can see confirm to enable student generate ID card. If you don't confirm this, that student cannot generate their ID card. So you can just click here, and then this student is registered. You can see we have a second student registered here now. So we have a second student registered at this point. So we have the student registered here. Okay, we didn't put the guardian name. You can come here and still edit the student information. Let's assume we want to add guardian phone number here. So we can just say, okay, the phone number is 0, whatever, and then save it. So you can see that we have guardian information here. The same way we register the student, that's the same method we're going to use to register the staffs and the teachers. If you come under the staff, you see the staffs. The staffs are actually non-academic staff. Then the teachers are the academic staff. So let's register a teacher. We have a teacher already, teacher one, Mary, and all that. So we can add new teachers. When you want to add new teachers, you follow the same process by selecting the user. If a user has not been created already for the student or the teacher you want to register, in the list that you have here, you can just click add users. You can give this new user this teacher you want to register its own username. So what I mean at this point is that you can start by just going to the teacher and register the teacher straight, creating a username and password for them straight from the teacher's dashboard, or to the student straight from the student dashboard. It will automatically create them as a user in your user module, which is up here. So either way, you create a user first, or you create the teacher first, or you create the student first, because it will always prompt you to put a username. You cannot register a teacher without having a username. You can not register your student without having a username. So the same process we go. You put the teacher's username, the middle name, the department the teacher belongs, the information, all the necessary information about the teacher, date employed, marital status, qualifications, year obtained, institution attended, and all that. Then you make the teacher active. Then you save. Well, in this case, I'm not going to save this. So you save the teacher information, and your teacher is saved. Under staff, let's go back under staff. You can see the staff positions also. If you have positions that you give to your staff, you can give them, maybe this one is a driver. Put that these are positions, so different positions that you give your staff in the school, so that you can add it. If you come to teacher now, for instance, if I come here, you will see department. Do we have position there? Teacher's position. Okay, we do not have teacher's position there, but for the staff, I think we have the staff position. So the same thing goes to the teachers and the staff. So that is the way to register your user, and that's the way to register basic information about your school and your bank payment details. Will be enough for this video. Thank you.